Hey peeps, Salams here. Hope you all are well. Thought I would make a video talking about, do I want to take tea? It's a big question. You know, I've been asked many, many times. Basically where I'm at right now is I'm having top surgery in a month. I've changed my name and I've changed pronouns to they. And a lot of people have been asking, are you going to take testosterone? And it is a great question, you know. To be honest, right now, the answer is I don't know. I'm not exactly sure, you know. Right now, so I guess I'll start by saying, you know, this journey has been a long one, you know. And it's taken many, many years to get to the point where top surgery felt like the right thing. It really happened by connecting with my core, like with my feelings, you know, really getting in touch with myself and recognizing that this part of my body really didn't feel like it belonged. And while I've always had inklings of that, and some of those inklings were definitely more pronounced and stronger than others, it took a lot of really introspection to reach the point where I was ready to admit it to myself fully. And then it took a lot of work to get to the point where I was okay with having the surgery. So it was a long process. And what I'll say is that right now, I know for sure that top surgery is what I need to do. It's very clear that the dysphoria is so strong that I need to do this for myself. Testosterone, you know, I know a lot of people do that first and then have surgery later. For me, I've never really needed to be on testosterone. That just was never a big deal for me. Although I will say that as I'm nearing top surgery, and well, I guess I should say that since I've been binding, there have been moments where I'm binding and I'm wearing something that I feel really good in and I'm feeling more aligned. And then I look in the mirror and then I see my face and I see the shape of my body, like the general shape, and I feel dysphoria because I feel just I'm not aligned because of my appearance, you know, or like the shape of my body, basically, you know. And in those moments, I think to myself, well, testosterone would probably help because it would change my features, you know, redistribute fat in my body so it didn't quite appear so feminine. And I think that would feel really good, you know. So when I think about it like that, testosterone becomes very appealing. I don't particularly need to have my voice get lowered, you know, that kind of thing. So that's not something that I feel, you know, that like I care about right now, you know. But again, I feel like the fact that top surgery is like imminent in my future, that's really the main focus for me. I think once that's done and I recover and I have some time to sort of live, you know, in this new body, I'll be able to think more about, you know, do I want to go on testosterone, you know, and feel into, is this going to be the next step for me, or am I done, you know? I've talked about on here identifying as non-binary, and that is how I identify right now, you know, and that might change, you know. There are days where I identify like more towards trans male, and there are days where I feel really comfortable as non-binary. You know, it goes back and forth, you know. So, you know, the idea of taking tea to become like to become male, like to start living as a man or a trans man in the world, like I would say that end game isn't what's on my mind. It's more about how can I make myself more aligned in this moment, you know? And, you know, what I notice is that well, that is what I've been doing, right? Since I was younger. Every step that I've taken, starting from like cutting my hair to like wearing men's clothes, to like buying men's glasses, or like, every step that I've taken, I've only taken that step to align myself. I'm not striving for some external image. I'm not like looking at photos and saying, I want to be that. It's more like looking in the mirror and saying, how can I feel more aligned? And then I do the next thing to feel more aligned. And like I said, so it's clothes, it's hair, and then it was binding, and binding felt like the next thing I needed to do to feel aligned. And then it was like, after a while, recognizing top surgeries is really the next thing I need to do to feel aligned. And so definitely when I see the pattern is that I'm more and more going in the direction of taking steps that make me align with maleness, with, being a trans man. That's really definitely what it looks like, the direction I'm going in. But I don't want to like attach myself to an end game. I really want to continue to let this unfold naturally and see what the next steps are. And so after my top surgery, it may be true that, taking testosterone is the next thing that I need to do to feel aligned. And if that's the case, then that's what I'll do. And then I'll deal with what happens. And, ultimately what would happen is, I would probably start passing as male, fairly soon. And then I'll have to recognize and accept that, like, here I am living as male now in the world. But yeah, like when I just think about, like, when people ask me that question, like, are you going to become a guy? I can't answer that. I don't know what that means. Like, what does it even mean to become a guy? What does it mean to be a man? I don't know. Freaking know. I mean, I don't know. But I do know the steps I need to take to feel aligned. Those are clear. So it's very much a one day at a time kind of thing, like one step at a time sort of mentality that I'm taking with it. And that feels like the right thing, Yeah, and I know this is different than a lot of folks. On some level, I envy people who have a clear understanding of their gender identity and the steps they need to take to get there. Like, I wish I had that. But, this is different, So I guess I wanted to make this video because I haven't heard a lot of people share like this. I've heard some people share this way, that like this is their experience, that it's like a one step at a time experience. And I think it's an important story to get out there, Yeah, because it's a process, for me, it's very much a process. For me, my whole life coming to this point, it's been a real process, an uncovering of who I am in the world, it's funny, like when I was a kid, when I look back at myself as a kid, like like when I was a little kid, I think about myself and I'm like, yeah, I was definitely a little girl. I didn't feel like I was a boy, In some ways I definitely was like, I wanted to do boy things, but in a way, like I feel like my gender has evolved over time, like I definitely was more, like I was a girl with a lot of boy tendencies, and I feel like I sort of evolved over time. And now I'm, in this place. And so it's been important to honor the evolution and continue to do that. So anyway, I hope this video was helpful. If you can relate, I'd love to hear from you. If you can't relate, I'd love to hear from you. Yeah, anyone who wants to share, please like write in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. What's it been like for you? Has it been like an evolution, or do you have like absolute clarity of where you need to go and how to get there? So yeah, I'd love to hear. Anyway, have a good night, y'all. Well, it's night for me. It's not night for you. So have a good whatever it is that you're doing. Take care.